Y'all, welcome to For the Fans, where tonight on Big Brother 24, we got to see Elvis leave the building. And I don't think anyone here is upset about it. So let's dig into this episode. Kevin, Mike, how are you guys doing? What'd you think about tonight's episode?
This is the best. If it's either the best pre, the second best pre-jury. If it's either it's a toss between this season and last season, so I'm real excited to see.
Well, I mean, last season, I didn't hate any of those people.
True, but I was very. It was important for the cookout in order for them to propel themselves to where they needed to be. It needed to be that mix of pre-jurors for them to get there. This one I just didn't like 4 of the 5 people gone.
Yeah, they kind of sucked. Anyway,
I didn't mind a mirror.
I was happy with the results of the last few votes. I think the game is sort of going into that boring-ish stage.
Okay,
myself.
Daniel, you better calm down.
No, do not get me wrong. I was happy to see him go. Boring or not, I was happy to see him go. But I do.
So, do you think it's does that make it boring? And I say that because the game, they're going to have to eat themselves eventually, right? So it has some time in between. Are we doing live updates as we go? What are we doing?
No, I don't think so. We'll say it.
So it's not quite, I wouldn't say boring, right? But I am excited to see how this game goes without these people here.
I think we were spoiled with blindside after blindside, where I was like, can Kyle maybe just go this round? But I'm not mad to see Daniel go.
I would like to see somebody outside of the leftovers win the HOH tonight and shake it up a little bit. I said that last week. As much as I didn't really like Daniel, I would have loved to have seen Daniel win the HOH because I am here for an entertaining season over anything else. But it's also never a bad thing to see somebody get what's coming to them. So,
well said.
It was a nice little revenge there. All right, so this episode picks up at the end of the veto ceremony. Michael obviously used the veto, decides to make the not big move. He's not really playing Big Brother, and he puts up Kyle and Daniel. And immediately Michael's like, I know that Monty's a big threat. I can see that, but Daniel's the biggest threat to my game right now. And I like this thought process of his because, yes, it is easy to, be nearsighted a lot of times, but I think taking the big move now would have not been good for his long-term game.
Agreed.
There was no way that he was going to be able to make that. He said earlier during his HOH that if something were to happen and Monty went home, it doesn't make sense to go against the leftovers. But if something were to fall the wrong way, those who lived, something like that, they continue to work with the 6. The moment Daniel and Kyle did not get picked, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. That Monty plan was done because then Michael has to openly state in front of everyone that I am going against this 7-person alliance. And he said to Brittany on the feeds, we're going to flip from the leftovers to be the bottom of that other group. And then the moment one of them win the HOH, they're going to tell them how we flipped. We made this move against them. Doesn't make any sense.
This is the same reason why I think, like you said, when Kyle and Daniel aren't chosen, it's a kind of a done deal. This is the exact reason why last night I was getting a little upset at Michael for going out and winning the veto, because this decision was almost, like you said, Kyle and Daniel aren't picked. Okay, the Monty plan out the window. Let them win veto then. You don't have to go out and win another competition. Right. This is why last night I was like, you have so many competition wins. You don't need to win this. You know what I mean? And that's why Same thing. Just
I feel that, but the only knock against that, I wasn't able to be on the show last night. I was in the comments though, watching you guys. Did a great job. But the only thing about that is it was OTEV, and
I know.
Mike's,
I know. I would have done
OTEV.
anything to win. I would have done anything to win.
He could have won 17 competitions, and they're like, Michael, you're playing in OTEV. Well,
Yeah.
gotta win it. Like,
Yep. I agree.
And that's the only thing. And I'm sure that it went through his head as he's out there, like, I can't win this thing. And then Terrence turns to him and says, "You need to win it. We need you to do this."
You know, like there are so many different things. Like you can't think, okay, I want to win the wall comp. And okay, now it's Zingbot. I gotta win Zingbot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's so many things that you want to check off. And we've seen this like in Survivor with Mike White. He wanted to check off his Survivor bucket list, and he damn near got voted off at the very beginning, ends up making it to the end of the game. Maybe should have won. It's hard when you get a super fan playing because they do, like you just get caught up in it. And I think we can all relate to that. So,
well, I don't even know if you're caught up in it because like there's only this 0.7 people that could play. You think OTEV is going to be down the road. You think OTEV you can be able to win that thing? That'll be your 5th win. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That'll be your 5th win. And then they're like, OTEV, week 4. You're like, ooh.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. The only bad thing about winning OTEV is when you won 30 competitions before OTEV even came out.
Yes.
All right. We also quickly get into the delusions of grandeur that our boy Daniel has.
Man.
And he immediately is like, Michael is going to look back on this moment. He is going to regret it because he could have made a big move, but instead he is just being a sheep. But you know what? In the words of another great Big Brother Dan Giesling, you may have heard of him before. It's not over till it's over.
I loved how he said another great Big Brother Dan. As far as I know, there's only one great Big Brother Dan, and that's Dan Giesling.
I mean,
and then
Daniel Reyes, if you want to like shorten her name to Dan.
Sure. Yeah, Danny Donato. Daniel Durston will not be talked about in the same breath as those people.
No.
Though I will say, and maybe just because the season's airing right now and everything, these people, to me, in my opinion, will be memorable to me. Like, I don't remember many pre-jury players, but like if you bring up Daniel, for better or for worse, I will remember him. like I will be like, oh, that's the guy.
I mean, it is always fun to have people to root against. And so, we'll get into his speech, but it is fun to have people that you actively don't like.
I think you make a good point of pre-jurors, right? So like of pre-juries, the ones that I like remember the most. I remember the pre-jury for the cookout. It was just last season, but like I said, they paved the way for the 6 to be able to make it to the end. And then I remember the pre-jury of BB21 because of the negativity of it with David and Ovi and Kimmy and like you're right. You remember the pre-juries when it doesn't go well.
Yeah. Yep. For better or for worse, I will remember the pre-jury.
Yep. All right. And then we have our boy Terrence, and he keeps reminding us he is in fact our boy. Our boy DJ
Showtime.
He's gonna let us know that it's okay. It's okay that Daniel's up on the block because he's gonna keep him here. And once again, like this is just another person that, I mean, you gotta like the confidence, but I just hope that if I were in the Big Brother house and I had been blindsided 2 weeks in a row, I would be like, look, y'all, I don't know what's going on, obviously, and I'm not in the know. And Daniel's probably screwed, but I am going to try my hardest to keep him here. But I would hope that I could be like self-deprecating and at least be like, I don't know, y'all. But no, not these people.
Unfounded confidence this week. I have no idea where it came from. I don't know why he got it. I don't know who told him he can have it. but Terrence has behaved as, I mean, at one point you saw where Daniel points to Terrence and says, "This is your HOH." How? In what world? This is nothing when your plan to not have Daniel go on the block to begin with doesn't work. Your plan to stay on the block doesn't work. You think that now your plan to keep him here is going to somehow, in what world were you now all of a sudden playing this game?
Yeah, I said it last night. I'm going to say it again. Like if he makes one good move, I will like him less. I am loving the terrible gameplay. It's rare, but because of how bad he's playing, I'm just rooting for him. Like if he makes it to final two, he has my vote. That's all I'm saying. Because he just played so poorly it's almost genius. Reverse psychology.
One thing that Terrence does is he lies maybe better than anyone I've ever seen, because I don't even think he knows that he's lying. I think he's like just talks out of his ass and just like, yeah, I'm totally with you. And then the next person comes along, yes, I'm totally with you. Let's do that plan. And I mean, I don't even know who he's lying to.
I think it's worse than that. Because a couple weeks ago, I tweeted, I never know which side Terrence is actually on. Yeah. And I said that someone said he's the greatest actor by accident in the house. And I said, this is true. But it's actually worse than that, because he tells everyone what they want to hear. And then this last week, when Nicole was on the block, he said, "I've picked a side. Y'all look like y'all are losing. I'm riding with y'all." It was like, what? You could have stayed with Monty and Joseph and rolled with them and said, "Listen, man, I'm going to stay in this house. I'm going to do what I got to do." But instead he said, "I'm ready to put a foot in the sand, a line in the sand. I'm ready to put my foot down. And Nicole, you're on the block. Daniel got you up there. I'm riding with that this week. Daniel, everyone wants you out, including yourself. Well, let's see what we can do to keep you here, buddy."
Well, and I mean, but even more than that, I mean, whenever Daniel cast the vote to keep Terrence, or, the vote against Terrence was like, whatever. Like, no, that is not okay with me. And, you thought that was going to be.
That would stick. You thought it would stick.
I don't know. It's too much. All right. But in Daniel's campaigning, which I do not want to spend a lot of time talking about, like, the false, oh, maybe Daniel's going to pull this off, because it's pointless. But he does peg the leftovers. And he's like, Nicole and I figured it out. We've been calling the script the Sorry Six. And we didn't think Kyle was a part of them. He is. And he's nailed down all seven. I mean, it's not that great. Even a low-ranked Columbo could have figured it out. The 7 people that have voted together 2 rounds in a row are, in fact, working together. But Kyle is the only one from the other side that has completely figured it out.
The way that Daniel pieced things together showed that there was a good player in there somewhere. But he was extremely emotional, and he put himself on the wrong side of the numbers early, all because he wanted to ride for Paloma, who was in the house for 6 days. And he decided that he was going to ride her truths to the end, which are not. We're gonna get to it, but I have a little bit of a gripe a little bit later. But he felt like he was gonna ride her truths to the end. But he has the right read. He knows what's going on. And like Mike said, man, sussing out the big alliance is not the same as breaking up the big alliance.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we have a good player that is also more of an emotional player. And I think that's what shot him in the foot, honestly, because if he doesn't get in that fight with Taylor, if he doesn't, run his mouth after Nicole goes home, if he doesn't do these emotional things, he actually has a good read on the game, better than anyone else who is not in the leftovers. So if anyone has a chance outside of the leftovers, it's probably Daniel, if he isn't such a target by running his mouth. And that's where, if you have someone like Alyssa who has that good of a read on this situation, Alyssa may do very well, because she's not going around doing a bunch of crazy stuff. Daniel, unfortunately, emotions got the best of him, and it was too little, too late. He couldn't sell anything to anyone because they think it's all coming from emotion and not gameplay.
So
Incorrect,
let's
Mike.
talk
He
about,
sold everything to Terrence. Terrence
Well-
believed everything he said, not to anyone.
so
Terrence.
let's talk about like his pitch to Alyssa, where he tells Alyssa like, hey, this group of 6, they've been meeting up in the HOH room every night. They are definitely an alliance. I didn't think Kyle was a part of them. I thought he was, down here hanging out with you, but I think that he's been hanging out with you as a way to like keep you distracted. And, he's a part of that group also. And also, homegirl, he was not going to use the veto on you. What could Daniel have done to have been effective with Alyssa? Because that is ultimately where his plan goes off the rails, because he knows he has to have Alyssa's vote. And what could he have done to have actually nailed Kyle? Because he didn't tell her lies.
So I'll say this: in watching it, I think he did a very he says, I want to go with the heartstring maneuver. I don't want to go with the pitch maneuver, and that's great and everything. But you are on the block, and anything that you say is going to come to anyone as a pitch. So sell it as a pitch, and be like, look, and instead of just saying, this is what Kyle did, this is what Kyle did, this is what Kyle did. No, this is what Kyle did. And if we don't take him out now, I know this is hard for you to hear. If we don't take him out now, you are not winning this game, Alyssa. Put it on her. Not he did all these things. Do with it what you will. No, he did all these things. This is what we're going to do now. And I know it hurts. You love Kyle, whatever, but this is what he's doing to you. He's manipulating you. And here's our plan. He didn't put a plan out. He just kind of, he put seeds down and he forgot to water them and they died. I think that's honestly what he did. He didn't check up on them. He didn't, you know what I mean? He just kind of told, this is what's happening. I hope you keep me. Yeah.
I think his non-pitch pitch to Alyssa was perfect. I thought it was great. The thing that they did not show, obviously for the intrigue purposes, the thing they don't show is that as soon as she leaves the room, she goes and confronts Kyle, and Kyle says, I don't know why he's saying these things. These things are lies. And then she's like, I thought so. And that was everything he said was great. The pitch was great. The audience was wrong. And she was never going to be receptive to it because she grills Kyle about it. She does, as she should. And he lies to her because he's caught in the crosshairs unexpectedly and just lies to her face. And she wants to believe Kyle anyway. And that was I thought that the pitch was fantastic. The non-pitch pitch. Because he, like you said, Mike, he wanted to pull in the heartstrings. And he wanted to hit her in a spot where she could believe what he's saying, right? And everything was factual. Kyle was not going to use the veto. He did look down for about 5 seconds. And I loved the episode that they were able to, as Daniel's saying these things, they pull back the clip of Kyle. I don't know. They pull up the clip to show that Daniel's not lying. He's telling the truth.
So I think that maybe where Daniel wanted to call out Monty, oh, Monty, you were able to convince all of these people, you've got them wrapped around your finger. You're such a manipulator. Maybe this is where he should have called somebody out, and he should have put Kyle on the spot. Hey, house meeting, Kyle, come on. It's time to own up to your actions here, and really put him on the spot and pressed him, and not just pressed him, in front of Alyssa, but press him in front of the alliance that you've also pegged and let them know hey, I kind of got you all clocked here. And maybe that could have been effective. I don't know. Mm-hmm. It's hard whenever the person that you have to convince is literally, sucking face with the person you're up against. You are so screwed. Maybe y'all should have picked better besties.
And it's hard. And that's really what it is. It's too late. By the time he gets to Alyssa, they're making out. They're canoodling. They're talking about trying to sleep with each, have relations with each other. It's too late, right? At this point, that's all it is, and there's nothing he can do about it. He's stuck.
And calling out the alliance publicly, because I thought about that too. I'm like, should he just tell everyone, including the alliance, that he's onto them? If I'm in that alliance, it's just more reason to try to get him out. You know what I mean? It's just more reason to get, Jasmine against him and all the people that we don't have in our alliance. We really need this guy out now. Like, we know that we need him out now. So it was a bad.
It doesn't work. And it goes back to him saying that Michael's dumb for not keeping him. You've publicly called Michael out as the winner of this game more than once. You tried to get Michael out the first week because you thought he was a big super fan, because he is. I don't know why you think that you're going to now go to him and convince him that he should keep you when you've made it clear that he, outside of Taylor, is your biggest target. Why would he now keep you? And then for you to then go into the diary room and whatnot and say that he's dumb for not sticking around with it, it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy. All right, so let's move on. We got the conclusion of MuffinGate last night. And we didn't know if they were going to show it, but they did. They gave us Cidergate. And Cidergate didn't have quite as much traction as MuffinGate did. But basically, Michael got some alcohol in his HOH basket. And Alyssa decides, I can sneak this drink. I hold my liquor well. And no problem. No one will ever know. No one's going to know. How would they know? And cut to Alyssa twerking on the bathroom floor.
Oh, man. It was bad. So, Mike, you're down in Florida. Do they all dance like this down there?
I'm in a committed relationship. I'd have no idea. But when I do go out, you see things here and there. And, yeah, I mean, we have fun,
Nowadays. I mean, it was an interesting choice by Alyssa. Kyle's mom is just he's going to be in an early grave so that she can roll over in her grave.
I don't the best part about Alyssa's like twerking and all her like movements, she's had like 2 seltzers and 2 White Claws. This is where she's at with like 2 White Claws, maybe like 2.5 glasses of wine and a couple White Claws. There's no reason she should be this wasted.
White girl wasted. All right. And so Indy was on a warpath. She wanted to know, this is disrespectful, who drank Michael's seltzer. Michael is not worried about it, but Indy is very concerned with this. And she's not going to get the answer, even though I think it's pretty clear who drank the seltzer. But also, with Alyssa and Kyle, we get Kyle talking, and he's like, Alyssa, I really wanted to work with her, but she just was pushing this Monty plan, and it blew up, and like, what are you doing? I can't do this. And this is the closest that we get to what Kyle actually tried to pull off this week. And so we know from, keeping up with the feeds that Kyle was really trying to get together a new group that included some leftovers, but also included his girlfriend Alyssa, because he's going to try to protect her. And this is where we've lost Kyle, y'all. He created the leftovers, but love wins out over logic.
Love or something else?
Alyssa.
Love or lust.
Alyssa. Yeah, that's what does it.
Yeah. So, love has won out, and he tried getting this other group together. He pitches it as, hey, I am worried that we're going to see a Cookout 2.0, that we're going to get Taylor, Monty, Terrence, Jasmine, Indy, Joseph, all working together. Like, oh, this is a worrisome group. And he pitches it to Michael, and Michael's like, oh God, is this happening? And he does have that moment where I think he's like, oh gosh, is this a thing? Until all of the people come in and pitch, let's vote out Monty. And he realizes, okay, no, this isn't a thing. And so Kyle is upset. Alyssa, you have tanked this wonderful plan that I had. And so he talks with her, and you know what, Alyssa? I think we need to scale it back a little bit. Do y'all think our man Kyle has the what is the word I'm looking for?
Willpower.
The willpower, can he just resist temptation? He's already done it once. Can he do it again?
So
now that he's tasted the forbidden fruit.
The other day, Rodney Lavoie posted about how he went on a journey for the last year or so that stopped him from utilizing his man juices, if you will. Kyle, I'm assuming, used to be on the similar journey until the first time his lips met Alyssa's. Since then, he cannot wait to do what he has to do. So the idea that he would abstain from Alyssa for even 3 days, I guess, because it's from like
just till Thursday,
Monday to Thursday.
Let's just hold off.
I could not believe it. I would not believe it. I do not believe it.
Yeah, I think Kyle, like, I really, from the first podcast, I said, this guy, he's a little annoying with, this TikTok, vocabulary, stuff like that. But I think he's promising. He could go some places. I think his relationship with Alyssa will inevitably screw up his game, honestly.
Kyle peaked week 3, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Week 3 of a 12-week game.
Yeah, but without that, I think he would do so well. But just the fact that he's trying to include her and that he can include her,
it was great. It was great how you had it before. Alyssa's feeding you all the information. You are set up in this great alliance. You are in the majority of the majority alliance. You are just sit back and enjoy your road to at least the top 8 without even having to do anything.
Even on top of that, the other side likes you and thinks that they can still work with you and think that they can still they think that Alyssa is going to be the one to control you when you've been the one pulling them strings this whole time. You're set, my guy.
And then that's what he needs to do. He needs to, like they all had with the Festy Bestie, they all had the person that that they're basically security blanket they were with, like Terrence for, Monty and Joseph or whoever. Mm-hmm. That's how Kyle should be playing this throughout. Yeah, I know, me and Alyssa were very close and stuff like that, but this is good for us because this is what I'm doing to Alyssa to ensure our safety if she wins. Stuff like that. Not, let's put her in the alliance. No, nobody wants to hear that. Nobody, no, that's not happening.
I have a question for you guys. Have you guys heard of a siren?
Yes.
The siren, a fictional character. Woman. Yeah, it's a fictional character. They're like a mermaid.
They have the sirens in Las Vegas outside of Treasure Island.
Yes, so it's like Oedipus. They call to you to your death. Is Alyssa actually a siren?
Yes, she is for Kyle because
he was playing such a good game. He was playing such a good game in such a good spot. And legitimately, the moment that they kissed, or the moment they told him that he needed to send her home, the moment they said he needed to send her home, he decided to say, F it all. I don't care what happens now. I have to do whatever it takes to screw this up for myself with this woman.
Yeah. I mean, he let a very pretty girl, and I'm not taking that away from her, and I'm not trying to downplay Alyssa.
Yeah.
She's nothing special. I mean, she seems like a great girl. She's gorgeous.
My buddy texts me every week. He said, I think she looks like a Disney princess.
Yeah, she's a very, very pretty girl. But $750,000, my guy. You have a 1 in 16 chance of winning $750,000.
Not even 1 in 16 at this point. You have a 1 in 10. At this point, you're 1 in 11.
You could try to have a relationship with Alyssa in the jury house or after the game. If y'all have a genuine connection, that's not going to go away because of the game.
Right.
You can you can win the game and get the girl. Just saying, this has happened before.
You can do both. You don't have to do one or the other.
Right.
And I think maybe I don't know much about Kyle outside of the house, but I think maybe this is just something new to him. Like he doesn't want to ruin. Like I'm not nothing against Kyle. Very good looking dude. My girlfriend tells me all the time I get pissed. But like I just feel like maybe it's one of those things.
I don't know if someone of Alyssa's caliber has necessarily shown interest in Kyle before.
Well, my guy being in the chat normally has said this might be Kyle's first time kissing a girl of this caliber with Kyle.
For sure.
Where he's ready to risk it all. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
All right. So moving on from our little romance here, I want to talk about the conversation where Daniel is pitching to Jasmine and Joseph why he should stay. And he says, hey, you know what? I know that Joseph is a part of this group, but I think he is a smart one and he can see logic. So he lays it all out here. Michael, he's got 5 competition wins. You're not going to be able to beat him. And, you got showmance. And I'm like, you were just trying to get Alyssa's vote. You still have to have Alyssa. And now you're going to throw her under the bus to her best friend, Jasmine. This isn't the play.
It wasn't, but Daniel's in a losing fight. He's basically in a fist fight blindfolded. And he's getting jumped by 7 dudes. And he's literally just swinging and turning and hoping that he's going to connect with someone. That's pretty much it. I think that's pretty much
it. That's the plan.
That visual.
I was texting my brother. He's like, he doesn't watch the feeds. He just watches the show. And he says, because I sent him the link to the podcast. I said, oh, watch the podcast. And he said, oh, I'm not going to be able to watch Big Brother live. And he says, I know what happened anyway. And I know he doesn't watch the feeds or anything. So I said, how can you be so sure? And he just basically said, like, if Daniel doesn't go home, then like something absolutely crazy happened. Like he hasn't even seen, like he's not even like a super fan. He just knows. He's like, yeah, I'm just waiting to watch.
Writing on the wall.
Yeah, writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
But what I love, and we need to get way more of it because Joseph is playing a hell of a game, but we get this DR from Joseph where he's like, if Alyssa is for sure going to vote to keep Kyle because that's her boyfriend, maybe I could vote Kyle out and, make the other side think that I'm working with them. I am not working with Kyle, and I could really conceal this. And I absolutely love that. And I would have loved to have seen that actually happen where the other side gets blindsided again. Hey, we've got the numbers to keep Daniel, and they all vote together, and Joseph votes with them, and they just come up 1 vote short. Would have loved that.
It would have been an interesting. I hope Joseph would have told. I'm sure Joseph would have told the rest of the leftovers. The only problem with that plan is that I don't know that Kyle's on board. I think Kyle
1
freaks
vote
out.
Is risky.
Yeah, and I think Kyle freaks out and like blows up the leftovers to everyone, even though they already know about it. It's not like confirmed. And that's the best part about trying to send, like as Michael said a minute ago, sending Daniel home, is that Daniel has said this, and then once Daniel's gone, you're like, I don't know what he was talking about, guys. I'm obviously with you guys. It's what makes it so funny, because by shooting him out the door, you're like, that guy was smoking something. I have no clue what he was saying. Right? Let's get back to business as usual. Right, Indy, me and you, Joseph, me and you, best friends. She's like, I get you. Yeah, he tried to tell Alyssa that Kyle was gonna not take us down. Can you believe that?
It's crazy. Just blame everything on Daniel.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to the speeches because that's what time it is. And as much as I dislike Daniel and very happy that he is going home, I love a good speech. And this was a good speech. I don't care what anybody says. I will die on that hill. We don't give a shit about you shouting out, thank you, CBS, for the opportunity. Love you, everybody back at home. No one gives a damn. I want to hear you put some people on blast. We get it. Maybe every 2 to 3 seasons. I think our last one was Kaser, where he calls out Cody, Danny, and Nicole. And so, Daniel, this is the most iconic thing that you did. Nothing else was iconic. This was a great speech. And he does go ahead, throw Michael under the bus. He throws Monty under the bus. He should have just gone all the way and thrown Kyle and Alyssa under the bus too. Like, don't stop there. Don't hold back any punches. Play it all out. But he doesn't. It's still pretty good though. Calls them all bozos. And you know what? If you want this season to be boring, you just wait 10 minutes because it's going to be boring.
Well, it's like what Kevin and I talked about earlier. Like, you can't, if Daniel sussed out the leftovers 2 weeks ago and has been pushing, we need to beat this alliance, and nobody bid on it at all, and they're just kind of being taken out one by one. Understandable. Yeah, you were all dumb. You're gonna lose. Blah blah blah. Understandable. You can't, bring it up to them. There's this alliance 2 days before the vote, and then call them all bozos for not making a rash decision at the last second. Like, that's not. If this was just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if
I
they
think at this point, Daniel knows. I mean, he knows that he's not going to sway anybody. No one is going to change their
I'm
vote.
not saying that.
But
I'm just saying, to call people dumb for, like, you just came up with this. You just realized that these people are working together.
Yeah.
And now you tried to convince these people. You had a day to spare, and they didn't side with you, and you're going to call them dumb. I mean, you're kind of dumb for just realizing that this was a thing.
Correct.
You know what I mean?
Correct. It's I know that, Kiley, you love mess. I mean, there's a big reason that you're a big MTV fan, but the mess of a last second speech is wholly ineffective, right? It first and foremost is ineffective because people don't deliver the speech that they need to deliver to, like, stay, because at this point they already know what's happening. The information that Daniel is saying while he's standing up there, since he's only giving it then, is easily dismissed. So none of that it doesn't work. So you could go out there and call them bozos and try to be exciting and make good television.
yes, thank you, Daniel, for making good television. That's what I'm here for.
But
Thank you.
I don't even think it was good TV.
Well, wait.
It wasn't good TV. We're talking about it. People
Yeah,
on Twitter are talking about it.
Kylie, we just talked about Kyle telling Alyssa that he wasn't going to kiss her anymore. Okay, we talk about everything on this show. That's our jobs. Okay.
So wait. Don't get me wrong though. I do think it was iconic. I do, like, his fate was completely sealed. Like, he was done. So why not just cause some mayhem? You know me. I love that. But I'm just saying, like, I would have liked it better if he came up and said, Michael, you won a bunch of comps. Guys, he's going to beat all of you. You see it already. Monty's a beast. He's going to beat all of you. But to call them dumb, that's where I'm like, no, you're also.
If you want to make good TV, I go up there and I say, Jasmine, I thank you for riding with me. I wish I could tell you some of the things Alyssa said about you, but I can't because I'm leaving right now. Indy, Joseph has never been working with. Like, I'm just making shit up, right?
So
on my way out,
I'm just
exactly. That's what I'm going to do, because at that point, like you said, my fate is sealed, right? Me just telling you guys stuff you already know doesn't matter. But if I could cause dissension to actually invigorate these people to do something different, that's what I would do. I would say to Michael, just to let you know, Brittany has had conversations with me about how we can take you out if I were to stay. I just want to make sure you knew that.
Sure,
you can't trust.
Would have made it like.
That's the iconic part. That's the iconic part. Telling them the stuff they already know, and then just calling them bozos to me. I'm like,
it's better, and then we get boring ass Kyle.
Okay, I will give you this. That was more iconic than most of the what's the call speeches we normally get. Right, most of the on the block. I want to thank you guys for the opportunity. House guests, vote with your hearts, because I know your hearts.
Muffins.
Yeah,
no, get the hell out, Nicole.
I'm with you on that.
Who's gonna clean the shower if I'm not here?
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm with you, Kylie, on that.
We want the good stuff. So
but the iconic is
that was the only fun thing you did this whole season.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I just wish that he had created some dissension. Said to Monty, or Alyssa, once again, mentioned the Kyle thing right there in front of everyone. Kyle was not going to use the veto. he wanted Alyssa to go home. Then sit back down. Like that is it.
But still, I feel like it's still so fresh for him that he's still processing it to the point where he feels like he still needs to reiterate it to the house guest. This is what's going on, blah blah blah. So I don't feel like he
probably
knows
does because they are actual bozos. Like,
yeah,
I'm
they
just
should have been
saying,
figured out.
these are people.
I mean,
that
last week,
still don't see the writing on the wall.
yeah,
they only figured out 6 of them. I'm with you. So they had figured out only 6 last week. This week they have Kyle in there too. I'm with you. They're dumb.
All right, so let's get into the voting. We get some pretty good ones like Turner, 1,000,000%. Daniel, get the hell out. Love that. Love Taylor getting to cast her vote. I have waited weeks for this. This is so good. Peace.
She was very happy to cast that vote. Everyone voted with their hearts, if you will. That's another thing about that speech, right? Is that the votes are much more exciting if you say some mess to like get them riled up. But instead, all you do is piss them off, and they're like, "I'm happy to get rid of this dude." Like that is it.
Yeah, I mean, Joseph's like, "Well, I'm a clown, and I'm going to vote you out." And this is great. I mean, this spurred all of it on. But Terrence decides to just ride it out with his boy, and he is going to be the sole vote to keep Daniel. By vote of 8-1, Daniel, you have been evicted. He pieces out. Ellis has left the building. Only stops to give Terrence a little hug. I mean, I loved Taylor being the one holding the door.
I loved Turner like walking around him while he was grabbing his bag. Didn't try to stop him.
Yeah, like,
just
okay.
said, "Cool. See you later, bro."
I'm gonna go get ready for the competition. I don't really care what you're doing.
Okay, Turner has turned into a fan favorite when Alyssa's drunk and he's like looking dead at the camera, like when she's like, "No, Indy, I didn't drink."
My favorite scripted show is by far The Office, and so having somebody like giving you The Office where they're looking at the camera. Just
CJ said it on Monday that he's giving big Jim Halpert energy.
Yeah.
The way that Turner like knows where every camera is and is like, "Come on." When Daniel stands up as Julie's reading the numbers, so that way he can like get a jump start on everyone and not give anyone a hug because he thinks that's another iconic thing he can do, and it's cool. He like takes off, he gets to his bag, and as he gets to his bag, Turner's like, "All right, man, like you don't want to hug nobody, fine. I don't really have time for you either."
Bye. Yeah, I love it. So Daniel gets out. Are y'all surprised that Julie does not come at him with some more hard-hitting questions? Like, he gets a pretty good little interview of, "Hey, what were you thinking? Taking Nicole off the block?"
Julie just doesn't do that stuff anymore, man.
Well, I know, but I mean, she at least went in a little bit on Nicole and put her on the spot somewhat. But I didn't think she was even going to say anything about Taylor. And right at the last second, "Hey, you know what? This group, you're exactly right on who's in it. And they formed after your little tiff with Taylor in the bathroom because of the mistreatment of Taylor. What do you think?" "Oh, me and Taylor, we're besties. We've made up." I'm like, "Bitch, you were talking shit about her like 2 hours before they get the feast."
I am so confused by this. This is the now third person in a row that has said this, that has come out there and said, "Yeah, no, I talked to Taylor on my way out, like right before we talked in those 2 hours. We're cool. We're chill. Like, fixed everything. We're okay." What do you? There's no way that's what you did. You told her, "Don't speak to me again until finale night." How you expect me to believe that you decided to go, "Hey, I know that I said don't talk to me till finale night, but I'm getting up out of here. So I wanted to go ahead and tell you that I'm sorry for all those things that I did to you."
We didn't have that.
No.
We didn't do that.
I think honestly, like you could see during the interview where like Daniel thinks that he may be like a fan favorite. But he thinks he's still maybe like a fan favorite, and then he's like, he's all happy and stuff. And then you can see Julie's questions weren't at all like down your throat, but you could kind of see where Daniel starts being like, if I did do anything that I shouldn't have done,
Yeah.
I want to right my wrongs.
And it changes like that. And it's maybe that moment.
Our conversation that we had yesterday with Sheldon, where he does not want to just pile on to people because, doesn't feel it's our place. And what I said, I will continue to stand by. If Daniel gets out, he sees the things that he says, he sees the things that he does, and he takes time to genuinely learn from them. Well, that's great. That's all that you can ask for from a person. So,
I'm already done with it. Let me tell you why.
Hopefully he takes that time and he does learn.
The reason I'm already done with it because for you to immediately come out the house, hear that there was a group that was formed in contradiction to what you have done, and then you say, listen, if I've done anything wrong, I want to sit down and I want to learn from that is a PR move. That is not an actual understanding, because you thought you were the hero. You thought you were the champion. You're the one that said, how can you bully a bully? You said that 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, you said that. You did not think that Nicole went out justly. You said these things, right? For you to say these things, and then immediately when you get on stage and Julie tells that a group was formed in contradiction to things that you have done, and you say, if I did anything wrong, I apologize, and I want to own up to it. Come on. That is so fake. That is false, because you didn't think you were wrong.
It definitely seems, like he said, like a PR thing. Maybe they've already tipped him off in the DR. I don't know. But if he is genuine, he learns from the things that he did, how you should not talk to people, how you should not treat people, then everybody has an opportunity to grow and change. That's all I'm going to say.
I agree with both of you. And Kevin, like you said, like you wish that, like if that actually was the moment where Daniel really was stopped in his tracks and said, oh shit, what did I do wrong? That sucks. And you wish that anyone would realize as they're doing these things that they are doing something wrong. You wish that, and you hope that, but if
he goes up there and Julie says that and you're like, come again? Like,
if that's the moment. Yeah, if that's the moment when you realize, obviously, there is a huge problem there. Now, going back to what Kiley said, I might be doing this the wrong way. This is how I see it on my screen. But going back to what Kiley said, like, if that is the truth and he realized if that was the moment he realized, now you just wish that he learns from that and changes from that. That's all that I can do sitting here. I don't know the guy. But at the same time,
I'm with you.
I'm not going to give anyone any hate. I'm also not going to tell anyone not to. I can't control any of that. So I wish that people wouldn't, but it's going to happen either way.
I don't wish that people wouldn't. That's the thing. I don't personally wish that they won't, because I don't want him to get like attacked or anything like that.
Yeah.
But I was looking on Twitter, and Johan Tim Kang said, dear interviewers, please squash the notion that Taylor caused Paloma's mental spiral for Daniel tomorrow. You're right. Julie's not holding anyone accountable, which is fine. But tomorrow is going to be a hard day for Daniel Durston. One of the toughest days of his life is going to be tomorrow. And it's going to be because he's going to be asked for hours about his treatment of Taylor and what he's done and how he has blamed her for Paloma's mental breakdown. And he's going to be asked that continuously in 15-minute chunks for roughly 7 to 8 hours. And that's what he needs to hear. So for you to immediately say, not to, because you thought you were the hero of this story until Julie tells you a group of resistance. He said that he was the resistance. He said that he was the resistance to the seven. Little did he know that a resistance was created to expel his tyranny.
So one, Sharon Tharp with Us Weekly or whatever she's with, she will be asking questions tomorrow, and she has already said, Daniel, what exact lie did Taylor say about Paloma? And I am hoping that she actually asks him that. Like, what did
last
Taylor,
week Nicole, she said to Nicole, she read off her card, she said, you said that she's a terrible person and she did this, that, and the other. Can you give me an example that she did these things? And Nicole was like quiet, and she's like, then Nicole started to say, I let the group think, blah, blah, blah. And then she said, okay, cool, but you didn't answer the question. What exact thing did she do? And then that's when Nicole was like, well, I didn't want to say anything myself, and so I shouldn't have thought about what everyone said because I don't have any examples myself. It was like, okay, cool, next question. So Sharon will hold him accountable. Mike Bloom will hold him accountable. And those are the things that we're looking for. Taryn Armstrong will hold him accountable tomorrow. And these are the things that we're going to be looking for because they need to happen. But that's the only reason why I'm so like amped up about him going, because for him to be like, when Julie says, here's the group, and he's smiling, he's like, I got him. And then she's like, they were made because you're an asshole. And he's like, oh, well, listen, if I did anything bad, I want to be a different person. You thought you were the hero a second ago.
This is why, and we tend to and I'm not defending anyone or sticking up for anybody at all. I wanted Daniel to go just as much as the next million of people, but like Kiley said, the state of mind in there, it really interests me. It's so intriguing to me because Nicole and Daniel actually believe that they were the underdog story coming out of the fire. I'm surprised Daniel didn't call himself a phoenix or something. But it's just one of those things where it's how can you think that this is reality? But it's, again, you're in a house. It's craziness for them to even think that they were the underdog story. Blows my mind. And then for Julie to say they were made because you're a dick. We can't ask for anything else.
What we really need is TJ Lavin to be the Big Brother host, because TJ would call some people out on some bullshit.
Kiley, we don't even need TJ Lavin. We just need Julie Chen. We just need Julie Chen. Julie Chen Moonves doesn't do this stuff. We need Julie Chen. Okay.
Right. Let's talk about the goodbye messages, because we also had some really great ones. We get Michael pulling out the old Julie Chen, before she was Julie Chen Moonves, gif. What are you? I'm an idiot sandwich. And I wish that they would have showed Julie's reaction to Michael calling him an idiot sandwich, because I wanted to see that. I wanted to see her reaction, because that is next level. That is next level.
That's so meta. It's so meta. Do you think Julie remembers that?
Yes. She has to know. That's one of the most famous gifts in the world.
I hope she remembers.
This is why I think that Michael was made in a lab for Big Brother. He just, every single time I see him on camera, he just does something more to show us I was made for this game. I was made for this game. I was made for this game. Yeah. And then this is why he won OTEF, Kevin. I'm starting to see it a little more.
I mean, calls him an idiot sandwich, and then I wanted to say, you played a good game, but I'd be lying. Just damn. Okay. You can call me a sheep all you want, but you're that one that's sitting out there. And then, of course, we get Taylor, which she really wanted. She apparently asked them in the DR if she can cuss in her goodbye message. She really wanted to let him have it. And, hey, Daniel, you didn't want to talk to me till finale night. Now you don't have to.
And then for him to go, I'm so happy that I will be talking to her on finale.
I can't wait to reunite with Taylor. We're best friends. I can't wait to talk to her on finale night. Congratulate her on winning America's Favorite Player. All right.
The thing that I love the most about Daniel going home tonight is that he's going to have to look people in the face and explain himself. Not with a month and a half in between, not 2 months in between. Because once they get a jury, they're sequestered, and they get the questions through Zoom, and they answer the ones, and then they filter them. No. You're on the outside, my guy. You're on the outside. You have to answer for your actions straight up. So when you're saying, I will be talking to her finale night, she may not want to talk to you, man. That's not how this is working. You know what I'm saying? You better grab a seat on that couch here in Las Vegas and see what's going on. B. Bean said, Big Brother's like truth serum. It reveals the true selves of people. And that is so
Ding,
true.
ding. Yes. All right, so let's talk about the next twist, and then we can talk a little bit about the feeds because we do have an HOH winner. So Julia tells us next twist. This week, we're going to have a normal week of Big Brother, but then next Thursday, the game is going to split up like we have never seen it before, and we are basically going to have 2 houses in that one group is going to have an HOH, nominations, veto, eviction, and the other group is too, and they can have no interactions. I hate this twist at this point in the game. I love this twist if it were the beginning of the game. I have wanted to see 2 Big Brother games happening simultaneously and then bringing people together. I hate it happening right now because all this is going to do is just F some people's games up that I don't want it to.
Strongly disagree. It will definitely mess up people's games. But if you do it in the beginning of the game, it creates sides. And they're not organic. It's like when you put people in tribes and they want to stay tribe strong in Survivor for like no reason because you're put together arbitrarily. Like there was no reason for you to stay tribe strong. If you do it at the beginning of the game, that's what that does. I love it being later in the game. Maybe at where they did the Festy Bestie twist. If you do it there and then they get like a schoolyard pick or something like that would be cool because now you'll see what happens. But if you do it at the beginning, I disagree with you wholeheartedly that at the beginning of the game it would just
fine.
be
no one.
I can kind of see where you're saying, like, if you do it at the beginning, the likelihood of them sticking with their original people, could be. But it would still be fun to do.
No one's going to believe me on this, except for my girlfriend. We're watching it. Julie says there's going to be a new twist. I swear to God, I said, what if they split them up and they had, like, 2 different things? And Chloe's like, what the hell is he talking about? I'm like, yeah, true. It's an uneven amount of people. They would never do it, whatever. When Julie said that, I was like, let's go. I think it's an awesome twist. I agree, Kiley. Like, this is an easy opportunity. If it's like 5 and 5, it's an easy opportunity to just get like Michael out or someone's game who has been like putting everything in place.
Yep.
They won't have many options. So it's easy to put like, I only have, 4 options here. I'm going to put you 2 up, and then the other 2 just vote out the biggest threat. I feel like it's that we're going to see probably 1 floater go and 1 like huge player go. That's what I think.
I think this if Mike's going to win any veto, this is the one he needs to win.
Yeah, you better win one of these damn times, Michael.
And Michael will be playing in veto because there will only be 6. It'll be split into 2. I think there's currently 11 people in the house.
11 people, so it'll be 10. It'll be 2 groups of 5.
That's why I said, they'll never do that because it's uneven. But now that they're gonna do, I should write Big.
You should be in charge. Okay?
Game maker, Mike.
But we'll see what happens. I always like to be proven wrong and that this isn't a terrible idea, but I think it's a terrible idea. Okay.
But before we even, after Julie says that, we get the infamous wall competition for the HOH. Yes.
And it's not just any wall, but this is Conspiracy Fest. And as everybody knows, Kat Dunn is our girl. And
it was hosted by Kat. Oh, it wasn't hosted by Kat Dunn.
Cannot believe they did not get our girl Kat to at least do a voiceover. Like, okay, fine, it's COVID. You can't bring people into the house. But to not have Kat saying, Are you
bitches conspired against me?
Right before they blast them with some stuff. Complete miss on Big Brother's part.
Yeah, agreed. No, I can completely agree. I'm going to start like conspiring about why they didn't get her to do that. There has to be some sort of, maybe that's
because she still owes them money. You know what I'm saying? She owes someone money. That's what I heard on Twitter.
That's the first conspiracy right there. Right? Make a list. We'll see which one it is.
Yeah, I don't know what bitches are conspiring against Kat at CBS, but it's awful. Okay, so that is our recap of this episode. If you are not interested in spoilers, now is the time to dip out because
before you take off, right when the wall started, before we go off the air, we do see Jasmine fall before we go off the air.
And I do want to say, I tweeted out a little poll of will Scooty Booty Jasmine fall off the wall before the end of the episode? And an overwhelming 98% voted yes.
And they were correct. 5 minutes in. Correct. She made it past the commercial break, though.
She did. but she did not make it to the end of the episode. Come on, girl.
Do you think that she thought she did? Do you think that she thought that I'm clear?
Yeah, she was like, Julie said goodnight. Jasmine was like, peace out. I made it to the end of the show. No, girl, Julie peaces out, and then she gives like a minute or two. You gotta hang on at least 3 or 4 more minutes.
I just want to say, and I'm going to sound mean, and I don't know exactly what. Yeah, Scooty Booty.
She's Scooty Booty because she was scooting up the stairs on her booty, and they started calling her Scooty Booty.
I'm going to sound mean, and I maybe, I've had injuries. I've had my ankles been broken a couple times. But, I mean, choosing to play in certain competitions and sitting out of other competitions, I felt like, in OTEV, I felt like that was a no-brainer. You can't really walk. How are you going to play this one? And she gets past the first round. Then this one, I'm like, oh my gosh, I know it's foam down there, but like if you fall a certain way, like you're probably gonna re-break. But nope, I'm just very confused by Jasmine, like her choice of competitions to play and stuff like that. And then like in OTEV, for instance, she plays OTEV, and then once she's out, she's on the sideline with like her foot up and a cane, and like I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of Jasmine. I'm sorry.
Neither am I. Neither is Turner.
Kind of the person now that like I'm rooting against. I kind of don't want Jasmine to go yet. She's so ridiculous. She's so over the top. I'm sorry, I don't want her to leave yet.
Kylie, man, listen. I have no idea why you like mess so much. Like you want like all the mess to stick around.
It's good for business. It's good for business.
All right. So let's talk about this. Big Brother Access on Twitter, they posted like, what are your predictions? Who are the first 4 people out? And your girl won the prediction.
Oh, wow.
I guessed the first 4 out.
Hold on. Before you say that, if you're taking off now, get up out of here. It's been great having you. Make sure you join us on Monday when me and CJ break down the Sunday night episode. We might have a guest, Kylie, maybe Mike, maybe Sheldon. We'll see what's going on.
Listen, and look, we were supposed to have Ronnie tonight. Unfortunately, he had a sick child, so we'll be rescheduling with Ronnie. But then this is breaking news. I'm not going to say it until it's 100% confirmed with the time. But even Kevin and Mike don't know this. But we are working on having a very, very special guest and a special episode on Tuesday. So be looking forward to a special guest interview on Tuesday. And it's something I think y'all will be very interested in hearing.
So that's going to be great. Remember, if you're not subscribed, get subscribed. When we get to 250 subscribers, we will be giving away a signed Golden Power of Veto. So make sure you get subscribed. If you're checking out now, we'll see you on Monday. And then make sure you come in on Tuesday for our special guest interview. But now that we've said that and that's all been done, Kylie, you won them predictions?
I won. Our prediction winner, they tweeted it out, retweeted my comment. First 4 out, Jasmine, Terrence, Brittany, and Monty.
And that was it.
I actually don't know who won HOH because I'm not on my phone while we do this. So
I'm here. I'm here right now. I got y'all right here. I got y'all all covered. So
tell us who falls after those 4.
Yes.
So Jasmine is the first one out before the show's even out, right? 16 minutes in, we have Brittany, who falls next. Terrence falls 2 minutes after her. So Terrence is third out. He falls right after Brittany about 2 minutes later. At the 28-minute mark, Monty goes, which is quite a long time for a big guy like that. At the same time, like shortly after, Alyssa falls. So the other side, the convenience store, as they're called, they have only one representative left in Indy, in Miss Indiana. But she doesn't last too much longer. At the 40-minute mark, Indy is the next to fall, which leaves a final 4 of Turner, Joseph, Kyle, and Taylor. Okay.
Come on, Kyle, fall off that damn wall.
The leftovers, listen, leftovers are good. Leftovers stay good. You know what I'm saying? And next out is Turner at the 44-minute mark. Joseph falls a minute after him, which leaves a final 2 of Kyle and Taylor. And with those two up there left, they start talking about deals, obviously, because you got to show face. You got to save some face. Someone shouts out, who wants to see their family? And Taylor says, I do. You know I need it. It's been real rough in here for me. Kyle says, I know. They make a deal. Kyle falls. Taylor is our new HOH. She has gone from the block to the penthouse, baby. She is the new HOH.
Oh,
We're winning, guys. We are winning. So let's talk about what Taylor is likely to do this week. So,
before you do, Taylor hits the mat. Michael is clapping like very loudly for her, and she's crying tears of joy because it's been
a rough road for our girl.
It's been a long time for 5 weeks. Queen Taylor, she has done what she had to do. Being called it Queen Taylor. She is our new HOH, and we're excited for it. Now, Kiley, like you said, the festy bestie twist is over. And I'm watching the feeds right now, and your girl Alyssa looks shook because
So I hope she comes for the people that have treated her the shittiest. And one of those people who I am sure is going to be her target is Terrence. He's going to be on the block. And we are also going to see, I don't know, maybe what, Indy, Jasmine, Alyssa, which one of y'all is going to join Terrence up there?
Now, it is Jasmine's birthday this week.
Send her ass out to see Julie on her birthday. What a great present.
Now, Turner said one night this week on the feeds, Turner was sitting next to Taylor, and Turner said, I'd happily send her ass out on her birthday.
Yes, absolutely. That would be great.
I think her birthday is Thursday.
I think, I mean, this group of people, they are kind of savage. So I could see them doing this just to send her out on her birthday, which would be funny. But from what I'm seeing on the birthday eviction, from what I'm seeing from the feeds, it looks like Terrence has like skyrocketed from, like your boy Daniel's going out. Well, we need to have a new dickhead to not like. And
it's not even a dickhead situation. So
no, it's a dickhead situation because I don't know if you've seen what he's apparently said, but.
Well, beyond that what he said today about the Joe Budden comment, Terrence was the one that Taylor thought she could like trust.
Yeah.
And as everyone was picking on her, she was like talking to Terrence, and Terrence, like we were talking about earlier, good acting, telling Taylor what she needed to know. The fact that he was rallying people to essentially save her abuser, really, really upset her this week because she's like, you watched this man berate me. You saw the way he spoke to me. I came and spoke to you afterwards, and then now you're trying to save him? What? Yeah. I saved you. We saved you. And you went and tried to protect Nicole, and you tried to protect Daniel, and then Monty and Joseph have told her some of the things Terrence has said about her too, throughout the weeks. And so she said multiple times, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed in Terrence. I'm just disappointed in him. Yeah. And so Terrence will be on the block for sure. Yes.
Well, he's going to be on the block. I think that was a given. But then apparently they were having some kind of a conversation today, and it came up about like domestic abuse, and Terrence basically blamed it on the woman. And if a woman is in an abusive relationship, it's her fault.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not see the conversation, so I'm not going to try to even quote it verbatim. This is, reading things on Twitter.
And what happened? What was the Joe Biden thing?
Joe Budden, the rapper Joe Budden.
What? I didn't watch the feeds.
Not Joe Biden. Joe Budden. Joe Budden is a rapper, and he's had a checkered past with women that he's dated.
Oh, okay.
Jasmine was talking about how she doesn't like Joe Budden because of his past. And Brittany was in the room, and Taylor was there, and Terrence was there. It was early in the morning, and Terrence was like, listen, if these girls decide to keep going back, that's on them. What kind of dude this dude is, but if you want to be in this kind of situation with him, and it, that's on you. But Brittany left the room because she was very visibly upset because what it says on the internet. She was in some bad relationships before. That's according to the internet. I did not see anything. I didn't see her talk about that, but I believe it. And so when he was saying that was basically their own fault, not a good look for Terrence. Not a good look for the guy from the south side of Chicago. Yeah,
so he, Daniel's on his way out. They have to have a new one to dislike. So Terrence made it easy for everybody because what?
Yeah, I didn't know that. I've been terrible watching the feeds because I kind of knew what was happening this week. So I'll take a little break. But
I wonder, do you campaign to Taylor this week by just telling her, giving like a remix of everything that people have said about her to let her pick the two that she hates the most from the things they've said about her over the last 5 weeks? Is that how you campaign?
Karma's a bitch, and
and her name is Taylor.
And her name is Taylor. She's knocking on the door, and she's coming for you. I'm going to love this week. I cannot wait to see her. I kind of wish Daniel was still there, so that way we could have got rid of Kyle, and then she could have put Daniel and Terrence up together. How amazing would that have been?
I think this week we get a Terrence Indy on the block with a Jasmine replacement nom.
Yeah.
I think Alyssa's safe.
I think Alyssa's safe too. I think it's between those three. I don't know if she goes with Terrence and Jasmine or Terrence and Alyssa. I mean, Terrence and Indy, but either way, it's going to be great to see. So
it does kind of stink though, because I mean, Taylor has been saying like, I don't want to be the pawn, but if it gets Nicole out, then fine. But now it would be, like you said, it would be so fun to see Taylor be HOH and actually make that move. But the good thing is, like, Taylor being in the majority alliance, anybody else winning the HOH would kind of be like, oh, this is going to be boring. This kind of sucks, because it's just like kind of the status quo that we've seen the past couple of weeks. But now that Taylor's the HOH, it's a little more fun, because no matter who goes, there's going to be at least a little bit of revenge there. You know what I mean? Whereas if I
wanted someone from the other side to win, except I wanted Taylor to win more than anybody.
Listen, I just watched Taylor celebrate in a room and Jasmine celebrate with her. It's going to be fun feats because watching them be fake.
Taylor
jumping up and down. She was like, "Yeah." Listen, I'm excited for the fake feeds, right? I want to see Jasmine. I want to see Indy go up there and say, "Can I hang out in your HOH room with you?" I want to see this fakeness.
Yeah,
I've always thought you were a girl's girl. That's what I
exactly.
I've never told you that.
I don't hate you because Joseph likes you. Totally not
at all. Not at all. I never even alluded to that. I've always been a big fan. It was Amira and Nicole that said all the bad things about you, and I told them to stop.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see some of these people just. Yeah. Okay. So our friend Cajun Cam, I got y'all on mute right now because I'm watching the episode. But my goodness, Jasmine's the most annoying player ever. She is annoying, but it's also just it is entertaining. I asked y'all last night, does Jasmine compare Julie Chen Moonves to a food item? And she does. This time we got an apple pie, and I think Julie is done with her shit too. Like Julie is like, I am not an apple pie. I am not a chicken wing.
Julie went from full on chuckle, belly chuckle to who are you voting for? I'm done hearing that. Oh my God.
Done with it.
Yeah.
So anyways, it's going to be another interesting week. I'm glad that Taylor is going to get to be in control, and let's see what happens.
Bean makes a good point. I think Indy's pride might prevent her from sucking up to Taylor, and that's a possibility.
I can respect that. At least if you are going to talk shit on somebody, don't kiss their ass and, just own it. If you don't like somebody, own it. And I think Indy is that type of person where she's like, no, not going to do it.
Yeah.
Terrible for the game of Big Brother, but it's a quality I can appreciate.
Listen, leftovers still good in the fridge, so that's all I care about. You know what I'm saying? Leftovers still good. We still eating good. I'm here for the majority alliance. I know Kiley likes mess, but I'm not here for mess. I'm here for the majority alliance.
I'm here
Let's
for
keep
mess.
it rolling. And
But Taylor is
I'm
going to
enjoying it.
get to, give us a mess. So
Man, I'm gonna
This is
probably
like
watch a
Taylor
reader
winning
HOA
is like the
tonight.
perfect balance of like you get a little bit of mess because you'll have the revenge, but it's also the majority alliance. The best of both worlds. Can you two just get along, please, God?
can't we all get along? I think everybody is happy with the Taylor HOA.
Yeah,
Like,
Taylor all season has just brought all of Big Brother fans
Yeah.
together.
I mean,
So great.
Taylor is the great uniter because nobody in the Twitter world has ever this much agreed on how much we love a person before.
Yeah,
And
literally.
Taylor is the one. She's done.
Does like Pooch or Paloma or Amira or Nicole like sit on their couch, watch this happen? And, oh God, now they're never getting her out of this.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll see.
Man, oh man.
All right,
This
good
was fun.
times. So we will be back on Monday with the recap of the HOH episode. We will have our special guest coverage on Tuesday and then back Wednesday and Thursday after the episodes. And hopefully we are going to be bringing some guests with some unique perspectives to chat with us on eviction nights. So, Mike, got anything to plug?
If you're not following at For the Fans Reality, don't know what you're doing with your life. You're probably a Daniel fan at this point if you don't follow us at that point. We're on everything, TikTok, Facebook, MySpace, all the fun things that everybody's doing these days.
Zanga.
All that good stuff. Give us a follow
look
there.
at our journal. Look at our journal entries on Zanga. We're gonna write.
Mike is like, I don't
long-form-
even know what Zanga is. I'm too young.
Oh,
I
that's true,
actually have
that's
no.
true.
I'm just going along because I
That's
don't
all right. You can do like blog posts, journal entries on those things. It's on Zanga.
All right,
So
Kat, what's going on with you?
You can catch me at KG Fury. I like to tweet and retweet about Big Brother. I also do watch and talk about the challenge. I also need to say, Lays, if you're hearing me right now, sign Taylor, you cowards. Sign her to a deal when she gets out the house. I
better have a whole basket full of chips.
Just,
all right.
Oh
and
yeah,
you can
it'll
follow
be great.
me on Instagram and Twitter at reality_TK. And, that's where I'm just making these bold predictions, nailing it on the head. Who's going to be out of the HOH competition first? Who's going to fall before the episode's over? Got it all. So.
Listen, Bean said it best. I want to see some Old Testament revenge from Taylor. Book of Taylor, Chapter 1. The Trials of Terrence. This is what I want to see.
All right. So we will see you guys on Monday. Bye, y'all.